Il manque cockatoos. Hein? Il manque cockatoos. What the? The Swarmcast? Oh no!
So, hey, Swarmcast listeners. For some of you, this might be the first time actually seeing and witnessing the live action events of the Swarmcast. But for the rest of you, you're probably still just listening to it. And it's been a while, so I'm glad you guys decided to come back. Or for if you're here for the first time, I'm glad you decided to check this out. So, what better way to announce our glorious return than by having one of our our most favorite guest that we've had on several times. We have Ed Jowett with Shades of Vengeance. Hey Ed, how's it going?
Hi, John, and hello to all listeners of the Swarmcast. Um, it's amazing to be back. I've as you said, I have been on several times before. We've had a few years gap, and I'm not sure that I could tell you exactly how long it's been,
Hmm.
but yeah, no, it's great to be back, and I'm really excited to find out what it is that I'm really worried, John. My sound wave is not going.
I can see it going on my end, and I can see you
Okay, so I can
moving.
see yours, but I can't see mine.
I don't know why you can't see yours, but I can see yours going.
Okay, well, as long as you can see it
Yeah, yeah,
and you're convinced I'm being recorded, that's fine. Sorry.
that's fine.
Um, so anyway, I'm really excited to be back, and I'm looking forward to whatever it is we're going to talk about today. Well, hopefully a little bit of this era Shark Ninja, which I've
Hmm.
currently got on Kickstarter, but maybe you'd like me to give you a little bit of an update on what I've been doing all this time.
Yes, definitely. Give us an update, and we definitely want to dive into Shark Ninja because that sounds
So
interesting.
I've not stopped.
Hmm.
I think last time we spoke, I'd certainly done era Silence, perhaps era Hitman, era Balam.
Yes.
Um, I'm not sure that I'd done era Forbidden yet by then, or era The Chosen.
I
So
don't know.
I don't remember honestly. But I know era Silence because I remember you used it for a Pharaoh's
Hmm.
challenge. So I know we spoke about era Silence. So basically, what I've been doing is continuing to explore different genres with creating tabletop role playing games. I've done. Let's assume that the last one that we spoke about was era Silence.
Okay.
So I've done modern hitmen with superpowers
Hmm.
in era Hitman. I've done space fighters, where you play as a squadron of space fighters that explore space and fight aliens. I've done Era the Chosen, where you become a mysterious warrior in sort of an interdimensional uh, battlefield. I've done Era Lost Legend, which is a Final Fantasy inspired game. You play as either a corporeal or an ethereal in a world that you would. It's got many of the tropes that you would find familiar from Final Fantasy, and it was designed to have that right taste and feel for fans of those games. I've done Era Forbidden, which is a post-apocalyptic game where angels and demons appeared on, say, modern Earth-ish, and started knocking the crap out of each other. And then, humans pick up their weapons and become big and strong and able to fight. Um, I've done Brain Not Working. I've finally published Era Dragon Song, which is my high fantasy offering. That it's quite possible I spoke to you about last time we spoke. It took that long. Like it's actually the second game I ever created, but it took me a very long time to get there. What else have I done? Let's have a quick think. I've done Era Kaiju, where you play as a
Oh,
kaiju.
yes, yes.
Um, I've done Era Dead West, which is a cowboys fighting demons game. I've done. My brain is not working very well. I have done Era Friction, which is an action hero game, and then Era Shark Ninja, which is a game where you play as Shark Ninja actually. So there are now 15 games running on the Euro D10 rule set.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
technically 16, but one of them's only a prototype that I just did as a bit of fun.
Oh wow.
I've been doing comics and card games and audio dramas. I just wrapped on a wonderful noir audio drama about a detective who is looking into some disappearances, and it's got some complications looking into these disappearances. I don't really want to spoil you, but it's got an amazing voice actor playing the lead, Erin Nicole Lundquist, who is just absolutely brilliant and 100% loved the script and just wanted to do it really badly. Yeah, I've made a movie in the Empowered universe, the superhero universe. I've written a few novels. Yeah, I've kept busy.
Wow.
I've kept busy.
Sounds like it. So, wow. And we've talked about the era system before. It uses D10s.
Multiple D10s.
Multiple D10s. It's almost as fun to just roll all the dice as it is to actually play the games.
So, just for anyone who's interested in mechanics, if you don't mind me taking 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So you will roll multiple D10s based on an attribute and a skill, usually. So the stronger you are in those, the more D10s you roll. You'll roll those and you'll be looking for a target number, for example, 7, on any dice. You count the number that you have equal to or over that target number. That's your number of successes. The more successes you have, the better you did when you did the thing.
Yep.
Very simple to learn. Quite hard to master because, knowing, do I roll the extra dice when the threshold's up? Do I choose not to roll? Do I roll up my 10s when, I've got equal number of 1s and 10s? What are my chances? What do I want to do here?
Okay.
Lots of fun stuff to get deep into if you're a nitty gritty for mechanics. Also worth noting, each of the games I just listed, along with the other ones I didn't list because we've spoken about them before, each of them has unique mechanics which are related to the game to bring that theme to life. And you'll find if you look at them that the weapon stats are not universal. This is not a universal system.
Mm-hmm.
It's a system that reflects that shares the core paradigm, and all the games share the core paradigm, but it's a system that reflects the game that you're playing as its primary thing, and then secondarily I try and make it similar to the others so that it's familiar.
Yep. And it's really cool. I like how it's just the flavor, the themes are just there for whatever it is whatever it is you want to play. As a GM, whatever it is you want to run and your players agree to playing, it's there somewhere. It's
I do my best.
Yeah.
I do my best.
I'm always impressed with
no steampunk.
No steampunk.
Fair warning, everyone, no steampunk. I'm not a steampunk fan. I've decided a long time ago that I am allowed to have one genre I never make a book in, and it's steampunk. So no steampunk.
I mean,
until I make that thief book, and then I'll look like an idiot, won't I? I love the Thief. The first 2 Thief games, I loved them.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, well.
But if I did do a steampunk, it would be like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. I get it. So, wow. So let's go ahead and, as they say, jump the shark, wink, wink, and talk about this new one you've got right now, Shark Ninja. First off, the concept is well, tell us about it. It's very out there.
Let me give you the very short version. In this game, you play as a ninja shark who is fighting against alien robots, dieselpunk alien robots, I should say, who invaded Earth and enslaved humanity. They now use humanity to drill for oil to power their galactic invasion force, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And you, as Shark Ninja, fight to free the planet from the alien robots, and you fight to free humanity, because people taste better when they're free range. So I would probably not have come up with this entirely on my own. I went to a convention, MCM Comic Con. It's this side of the pond. It's the biggest comic convention in England.
Okay.
And I was persuaded to run a workshop at MCM. And I thought, okay, fine, okay. And there's a specifically tabletop role-playing game convention here in London as well called Dragon Meet. And I'd heard tell about someone who'd run a workshop where they created a tabletop role-playing game in an hour.
Huh.
Now, what they really did was create this in front of the audience and let the audience watch as they did so. And I thought, well, that's a bit open to, abuse, isn't it? That's cheating. You can't do that, because you might have already come up with the idea. So, you can't. Nah. What I'm going to do, in my infinite wisdom, I decided I was going to run a workshop. Yes, I do say that with sufficient sarcasm, not a lot of wisdom going along here. I decided I would run a workshop where we created a tabletop role-playing game. And thought, okay, right, I am going to say it runs on the Era D10 rule set, but we can create rules for it. That's fine.
Okay.
And I thought, right, okay, here we go. We're going to do this. I'm just going to wing it. Okay, I can't really prepare for this beyond, here are some things that I think we could do, because I don't know how many people are going to turn up. I have literally no idea how popular this is going to be. I went up the escalators to where the room was, where we were going to do it. And I peeked in the door, through the glass in the door, and there were 5 people sat there around one table, and it was like, that was the previous workshop. So I was like, okay, fine. Okay, cool. Right, 5 people. I can deal with that. That's fine. That's okay. I can do this. We'll put some ideas together and just have a bit of a fun time. Okay, fine. So that workshop ends because I'm obviously a bit early because I'm me and I'm always a bit early for things. That workshop ends. Those people file out, and then I head in, and then people just start coming into this room. It's quite a big room. There's plenty of space. People just start coming into this room, and it's like, for 10 minutes, I wouldn't say it's a steady stream or anything, 35 people sit down.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, all right, okay. All right, fine, 35 people. Okay, fine. I'm just gonna run with it. What I might have asked one person to do, I'll ask a group of 5 people to do. Right, fair enough. But first of all, I introduced myself and I said, look, okay, we're going to make a tabletop role-playing game in the next hour. And I said, okay, so what do people think we should make a role-playing game about? And someone yells out, sharks. And I'm like, fine. Someone else yells out, diesel punk. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. Someone goes, ninjas. And I'm like, okay. Okay, right, okay, fair enough. Someone goes, alien robots. And I'm like, okay, well, I mean, I suppose they could be diesel punk alien robots. All right, okay. Okay, I'm getting this. And like, after a few more suggestions, we took some, we threw away the others. It became this diesel punk shark ninjas fighting alien robots. So I'm like, okay, well, that's step 0. We have a concept, right? So I'm like, right, this table over here, you're going to think about weapons. What weapons do these Shark Ninja use? This table over here, you're going to think about what the history. How did this war start? What happened? Why are the Shark Ninja fighting alien robots? This table over here, you're going to tell me what's happening with humanity in this world. This table over here, you're going to think about stats. This table over here, you're going to tell me about locations. Right? Locations in the world, what's it like, and so on. So they all get started, and about 10 minutes later, I'm like, right, okay, humans and like background of the war people, have you worked this out? And they're like, yeah. And the human table goes, yeah, actually, I was listening to them, and they gave me an idea, so we ran with that. I'm like, okay, well, that's actually awesome because you get more collaboration than you might have initially expected.
Right.
So the history of the war guy stands up and goes, yeah, so humans are enslaved to drill oil for the robots, right? and the Shark Ninja are fighting to free them. I'm like, okay, fair enough. And he like goes through, just like the aliens landed and they had these immune flying saucers and so on. It's just, he lays out all this stuff. I'm like, right, awesome, that's it, right? Okay, so humans, what are we doing with humans? The guy stands up and he goes, right. So the thing is, you see, humans are enslaved and the Shark Ninjas are fighting to free them. I'm like, okay, fair enough. And he's like, because they taste better when they're free range. And I'm like, okay, I mean, fair enough. I suppose it makes sense, kind of. Yeah, fair enough. So we just kind of ran with that. The weapons table came up with stuff like, I don't know if you know this, but some species of sharks can fire their teeth at things.
I did not know
I
that.
had no idea.
I did not
so
know
like,
that.
that's the shuriken for the sharks. For the Shark Ninjas. They've got these teeth shuriken.
Okay.
The one thing the weapons table didn't come up with, which I think is deeply disappointing, but I added it. I took the liberty of adding it in myself. Is the chainsword katana, which obviously a diesel punk ninja shark would have.
Yeah.
Somehow they didn't come up with that idea. They came up with flamethrower razor wire nunchucks.
Oh my goodness!
But not like a chainsword katana, which I thought was just basic and obvious. But what do I know? So yeah, I left that one of them even did like some sketches of what the Shark Ninja looked like, which more or less is the way they ended up looking like. Anyway, I left that thing with a stack of like 20 pages of notes that people had done and a few audio recordings on my phone, and I went away. And I thought, wow, that was really successful. That went really well. I mean, it wasn't perfect by any means, but it went really well. I was very happy with it. And I thought, right, well, I spoke to the organisers for the convention afterwards, and they were like, well, we'd love to have you back in October to do another panel. I always do a panel about how to be creative, or how to make sure your creative projects finish, or how to approach your creative project, how to write, direct, and produce your own audio drama, something that's like a panel about being creative and doing a creative project.
Right.
And I like to think of myself as an expert at getting creative projects done. For those of you who don't know, who are watching, that's my bookcase behind me. Everything you can see on that bookcase is a book that I have written and published. So I know a thing or two. I'd like to think about creating projects. But they said, well, we'd like you to come back and do another workshop. Would you do that? And I was like, all right, fair enough. I had a bit of a giggle. And I thought about what I was going to do. I was like, I'm going to do that again, because that was a lot of fun. And then I thought to myself, right, but if I do it again and I turn up and I say that in May I did it, and I didn't do anything with what it is we did in May, I think people are going to look at that and think, well, I don't really have to take this seriously, do I? Like I can just take the piss, really. I don't need to worry about like actually trying to make something good. I can make something that's a bit crap, and it'll never happen. So I thought to myself, right, but what if I finished off Era Shark Ninja and published it and had it in my hand when I walk into that workshop to prove that if we come up with a good idea, I will put my money where my mouth is. So that's exactly what I did. I walked into that workshop holding Era Shark Ninja and said, here is the book that we made in May. We're going to sit down and do this again. Not this, but
right.
This process. I do think it worked. I do think it got people more engaged than otherwise they might have been. And yeah, I wanted to give the attendees of the original workshop a bit of time after I finished writing it, to let them be the first to have a copy and play.
Oh yeah.
I think that's only fair, if you're gonna if you're gonna contribute something. I mean also you know me, John. Every name of the people who participated is written right here in the book, right inside the front cover.
That's
credit where
cool.
credit is due has always been a huge thing for Shades of Vengeance. That's not changing anytime soon. Not while I'm in charge. So yeah, I did that. I got the book out to them just in time. In fact, two of them picked it up from me at the convention
Oh, cool.
because I was like, oh hey, if you want to save yourself some shipping, um, you can come and get it from me at the convention. And a couple of people did come and meet up with me at the convention and pick it up,
Oh,
and
very,
then
very cool.
came to actually the next workshop as well. So that was nice. Um, and now several months have passed. I've either heard from people and sent them out to the people who contributed, or not heard from people, and therefore I think it's been long enough.
Mhm.
So I thought, you know what, I'm going to put this on Kickstarter. I'm going to give everyone who wants to an opportunity to enjoy the madness that is Era Shark Ninja. And here we are. I then emailed you when I was ready to launch, and fast forward to today, here we are talking about it.
That's wow. That is a heck of a story. I like that. I like that
I know,
so
right?
much.
It's not the kind of origin story you get very often for a tabletop role
Oh
playing game,
no,
is it?
right. You might get the like me and a buddy were at a convention and we were
Yeah,
drinking and talking about this, so we made this game. But no, this
yeah.
this is this is definitely some next level stuff here. That's very,
I
very
think
awesome.
it's special enough that it deserves to see the light of day. And I'm
Hmm.
really pleased that the Kickstarter's funded. We've even funded a stretch goal as well, which is really awesome. I'm really pleased. Um, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. Basically,
Oh yeah. I like the fact that this really kind of gives it gives everybody who wants to get a little taste of what it's like to to create some sort of like a game, a thing that they probably already have a passion about, and this gives them a chance to actually be a part of that process and then see the
it's
final
not
result.
just that. It's I've done a lot of work. I've written some books about being creative,
Uh-huh.
about being a writer and how to improve and so on. But I've done this panel about how to make sure your creative projects succeed many times now,
Hmm.
and I think most people just need a little bit of a push.
Yeah,
And I'm desperately hoping that at least some of the people who contributed to Era Shark Ninja might see that their ideas did make it into the book. That I did take the things that they said and I did credit them and their name is on it. And they go, hey, you know what? If I could contribute to that, maybe, just maybe, I can make something of my own.
that's very cool.
That's my fondest hope for Era Shark Ninja.
That's very, very cool. I do like that. That's very awesome. So I gotta admit, in the time since we last spoke up until now, and you've definitely been a good kind of push or an influence on me as far as getting my creativity going again and such. Um, I've had, I know I'm supposed to be talking to you about Shark Ninja and the Era games, but for just one brief second, I want to say because you were definitely one of the influences on this. I now have a game that I'm published on. I actually have two that I'm published on because I'm one of the writers on the latest edition of this game called Kobolds Ate My Baby. And I wrote a small like little 2-page RPG for an anthology that came out for free RPG Day last year. So
Fantastic.
yeah, and
Absolutely brilliant.
and you were definitely one of those people that kind of helped give me that push just from me seeing everything you're doing and all your stuff about how to be creative and things like that. It's like, I've been
I'm really pleased to hear that. I could not be happier. Well done and congrats. It's I would bet that now you've done it once, you would find it much easier to do it another time.
oh
You know,
definitely, yeah,
if someone was like, "Hey, yeah, do you want to do a 2-page RPG about X, whatever that is?"
right.
Transformers. I can see all the Transformers behind you.
Mm.
Why don't you do a 2-page RPG about Transformers where you can, you know, whatever your favorite G of Transformers is,
Hmm.
you can go ahead and play as one of those. I bet you would feel a lot more comfortable at doing that having done it once.
Oh, definitely.
And that's wonderful. I'm so flattered that you feel that I helped with that. Fantastic. I'm going to ask you to send me some links after we're done because I
Oh,
want to check it
sure,
out.
sure, definitely. Um, Yeah, I wasn't trying to like, go like, well, since
No,
I'm
no,
here, let
no,
me
no,
plug
no,
my own
no.
stuff. But I mean, you were
Oh
talking.
no, no. You know what?
This is
If you're
all.
listening,
Yeah.
go check out John's stuff. Like you might be here to listen to me about Era Shark Ninja, but if the story I've told you means anything at all, that's the point. The point is
Oh
go
yeah.
check out John's stuff. That's exactly it. Well, or anyone else's. Anyone else who
Yes. Yes.
maybe you've never heard of before. Hey, if you've never heard of my stuff before, come and check out my stuff. I really believe in being creative. I work hard at it. Do check out my stuff. You know, if Shark Ninja, it's not quite your thing because it's a bit silly or even a bit serious, depending on the way you look at it. Cool. I mean, I've got sci-fi, I've got zombies, I've got superheroes, I've got you name it. You know, I've got it. So come check out my stuff if you, like nearly everyone who is likely to listen to this, have never heard of any of my games before.
Chances are, though, if you've come to any conventions that I've been a part of, you have been exposed to some of the era games at some point. Because I do. There's been a few years, I want to say, where I've used different versions of some of the era games for my Pharaoh's Challenge competition. I do a GMing competition where I give these GMs one of the era systems, and I just say, with other random
Make
stuff,
something.
I go, make something, make a game for these people.
Yeah.
Which has been great
Well,
because
again, it's about enabling creativity, isn't it?
right, and they only have a small window of time to do this. And what's great is a lot of the air games, especially the ones I choose for this, you've got the games that are like, if you want a bigger book, you've got the bigger book. But if you want that smaller, you call them
Yeah,
the pocket books.
if you want the one-page summary,
Yeah,
yeah,
right. Because
I've got
pretty
you.
much any of those, like if you picked up if anybody picked up that copy of Shark Ninja, that's got everything you need to know to run that game and to play that game.
Absolutely.
Everything's in there. Um, that's one of those things I really like about every bit of the formats you did. If you want something that's got a lot more crunch to it, then you've definitely got the books that have a lot more material, background information, equipment. If you're one of those people who really likes your books full of gear and stuff like that, then you know what is
Here
it?
are the consortiums got you back.
Consortium.
Yeah.
Consortium's right up your alley. Consortium's a lot of fun. I really do enjoy that. There's
I was at a convention last week. I ran Shark Ninja,
uh-huh.
and I'll talk about that in a second. But I also got to run a 4 total sessions of Consortium. 3 of them were one campaign. There was actually a multi-table across 3 tables, so it was 9 sessions effectively, all linked up.
Cool, very cool.
And then the other one was just I got to the end and I was like, well, I've only done the campaign and I want to do something else, and I'm around in the afternoon of this day. I'm gonna do it. I'm doing it. But I did Aliens and Dead Space for the campaign, and then for the afterwards one, I did something that was really just an assassination mission in a cyberpunk universe. You know, cyberpunk
Okay.
kind of feel to the game.
Okay.
Like you were space hopping over to an asteroid, and you know, it was sort of megacorp asteroid, and going in and trying to assassinate this person. Actually, it was funny because one of the characters went in pretending to be the captain of this ship and went up to the station administrator and spoke to her and was like, "Oh yeah, so do you want to go for lunch?" And the station administrator thought that she was being asked out. So she was like flattered and kind of, oh yeah, sure. Yeah. No, that sounds really nice. And it was quite funny because the player was going, what's happening right now? I don't get it. I don't understand. And they go to this sort of quiet corner of this posh restaurant that the station administrator is paying for. And they're like, I don't understand why this is happening. It was very funny.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it's just the completely different ways you can play.
Mm-hmm.
The Shark Ninja game I ran, it had its moments of humor as well. There was they basically broke into this camp where humans being used to mine. and one of them decided to climb this building and look for the like advanced robot, and ended up dying when they encountered the advanced robot because they were too dumb to run away, basically, in the face of superior firepower. But this advanced robot didn't want to fight. So it was like, I'm 300 years old, mate. I don't care. Like, just go away, and I'll forget you ever came. Like it's cool. Just leave, and we're good. Like, I don't care. And the guy was like, rah, and he's like, oh, come on, seriously? Like, oh god. So in the end, they deploy this nuclear bomb, basically, this alien robot core to blow up. And at the end of the session, the advanced, like, this blows up. The advanced alien robot just walks out of the flames, like, what are you gonna do? But every time they ran into a human, they asked what they'd been fed most recently, and based on their Shark Ninja sense of smell, they realized they'd been fed boiled cabbage and broccoli. So they're like, nah, I don't want to eat any humans. They'll probably taste nasty. We'll let them free, and they'll be free range. And then, like, when they've had some like nicer food,
Oh yeah.
then we'll go eat them. Which was quite funny.
That's very cool. So what? Wow. So I was gonna say, what's the future look like for Shark Ninja? But I
So
know that.
I've got a few ideas, and it really depends a little bit on the Kickstarter. So the
Okay.
Kickstarter at the moment, you know, I'm adding some stretch goals. It's been suggested, and I quite like the idea of just throwing in some other random stuff. Alien lizard people. To you know, just
Okay.
they land on the planet as well, and they want to fight the Shark Ninjas and the robots and alien lizard people, because why not? And then someone suggested octopus pirates, which I think would actually be hilarious.
Okay.
So there are loads of opportunities for a little more boosting to the game.
Wow.
What's fundamentally next for the idea behind Era Shark Ninja is in May, I'm once again going to be going to MCM Comic Con and running another workshop. Last time we came up with some good ideas, but overall I wasn't happy enough with the concept to want to go ahead with it. Broadly, it was Pastel Cthulhu, that's known as the Great Mother, or, you know, Pastel Cthulhu-esque entity that's known as the Great Mother, and there are sky pirates and people who live on the surface and people who live underground, and the people underground are the cultists who control tornadoes that make you happy or sad depending on which way they rotate.
Wow.
It's a fun idea, but it's a bit too separated.
Yeah. Okay.
I wasn't able to find a way to marry that up into one world that really makes sense.
Right. It's a
So
lot of ideas,
I've
but
decided not to move that one forward. But Era Shark Ninja is still here, and
wow.
ultimately, again, the people who were at that convention saw how I create a role playing game, the steps that I take.
Yeah.
And that's the point.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's very cool. I hope that one day I'll be able to make it to your neck of the woods, or excuse me, your side of the pond. Sorry. And here in the U.S., it's all, I don't know. We go through the woods a lot. It's weird. And be able to. I
Except
would.
in Utah, I understand, where there are not too many woods.
Yeah, it's all dirt and stuff. The less said about Utah, the better. No, okay.
Oh,
Shots fired, right? We're gonna see. That's how.
I have no idea, but I assume so.
I don't know.
I mean, I could say some things about Wales, but, you know.
That's how we drive up our numbers. We start controversy. It's like, oh, John said
Okay.
Utah.
So
Has
you
got
want
a
me
lot
to
of
talk
dirt.
about France and Wales as an English person? Scotland too.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, well, it's been great talking with you, Ed, just in general, and it's been great talking with you about everything that went into this Shark Ninja. I keep wanting to say Sharknado, but I know that's not.
No.
That's
Actually, someone did ask me as well, what happens when the Shark Ninjas get hit by a tornado? I did get asked that question.
and you just kind of went.
No, I went Shark Ninja Nado,
Shark Ninja
obviously.
Nado. Oh my gosh, that's like
It's a
that's like
Shark Ninja Nado, meaning that it turns invisible when it's approaching you, and you can't see it until it's already hit you.
oh my gosh. Oh, that's a scary thought.
Oh yes, I can go quite scary when I want to.
Okay. So anyways, Ed, it's been great talking with you. I loved hearing about the story that behind Shark Ninja and everything about it. It's always great to have you on. Um, before we go, is there anything else you wanna let us know about or such?
I just want to say thank you and welcome back. Right, I mean that, John, because it's great to have the Swarmcast back on the air. I know it's been a long time off, but I also know that I speak for everyone who's going to listen to this and indeed your future content when I say that I'm really pleased that you're coming back, because your touch is different to anyone else. It's your own personal way of doing it. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're doing going forwards, and I know that everyone else who's listening is as well. So I'm just going to say thank you. Please, obviously, check out Era Shark Ninja. There are only a few days left, so please do check it out. Yeah, it's great to be back on. I hope to come back again sometime soon. I know I'm going to have more projects. I just can't stop. But it's great to be back, and thank you for doing me the honor of saying, Ed, I'd like you to be the one who brings this back, because yeah, it's a genuine honor. Thank you.
Well, no, and thank you, especially Ed. Because I was like, well, what do I want to bring this show back? And you just happen to pop back up and say, hey, you want to talk about Shark Ninjas? I was like, yes, that seems like the most appropriate thing to start this back on. So, yeah, again, thank you, Ed. Listeners or viewers out there, be sure to check out Shades of Vengeance. That's if you for all your era needs, wants, and desires. And we will definitely have Ed back on some point when he's talking about whatever the latest project is, or if he just wants to talk.
And if you want to find the project, just Google Shark Ninja. It'll come up.
Oh, yes.
Shark Ninja is not a thing apart from what we created in that workshop. So, turns out ninja sharks not very common.
Huh.
Wonder why.
Okay, and I'm going to.
Well, that's the end of the Swarmcast show. If you like it, you know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe, and that bell too. Haha, yeah. That's what to do. Check us out on the Blue Sky. Yeah, on the Facebook too. Haha, yeah. Just rocking out with you. Yeah. What the? Oh. I guess that's it now. Mwah.